What is going on, guys? In today's video I will show you the top 10 best builds in Path of Exile's new update 3.26. So in this guide I will give you a quick overview of each setup, then I will explain what are their strengths and weaknesses, then how do their key mechanics work, what gear and items should you focus on, then also what are their core gems and much more. And if you're looking for any of these builds on the website for their path of building, then click my link in the description. And before we continue, thanks to the U4GM. They are a pro website that provides POE1 boosting, items and even currency with a cheap price and fast delivery. They have over 11,000 positive comments and this website is really worth a try. So make sure to use my discount code KAID for extra 5% off. So moving over to the first one, which is the lightning arrow deadeye build. This is a high-speed bow setup designed for exceptional map clearing with efficient projectile-based AoE. It's focused on scaling flat elemental damage through the lightning arrow and the artillery ballista, by excelling in clearing large packs with projectiles that pierce and return. The build uses key offensive stats like the added elemental damage, attack speed, projectile modifiers, frenzy charges, and even critical strike scaling. Early on, you want to utilize the precise technique for a damage boost, and then switch to a critical focus setup once we acquire a strong spine bow. Offensively, it benefits from attack speed, projectile speed, frenzy charges, and the sniper's mark, and even added elemental damage. And then defensively, the build will stack evasion, 100% spell suppression, and element avoidance via the ancestral vision javel, which is also supported by the grace, blind, life leech, and life on a hit recovery. Projectile speed plays a key role in clearing speed, allowing for the off-screen kills and improving damage through the bow mastery. Mana costs are minimized by using the Algix mod, ring crafts, and the inspiration support. Though incredibly fast and efficient for mapping, the build has some limited bossing potential and lacks survivability for the hardcore player. It's best suited for the player who values speed, clear, and low input gameplay in a league starter setting. This setup also allows flexible gear options, which will enable you to invest gradually into the higher end bows and the javels as you progress. Next up we have Volcanic Fissure Berserker build. This is a high-speed melee slam build that uses Volcanic Fissure of the snaking with a Berserker's Ascendancy, which is ideal for exceptional map clearing with efficient fissure-based AoE. It delivers range-style play by using persistent fissure lines that erupt beneath the enemies and auto-target and stack for massive clear speed. Offensively, it scales through multiple fissure eruptions per cast, boosted by the auto-exerted Warcries for attack speed and damage bursts, and then Prismatic Tincture to amplify the burst damage uptime even more. Your cursor control is key, so you will want to place it outside of the bosses to maximize the fissures, which will be mainly 3 eruptions per cast. The Berserker's Ascendancy path should be focused on the Warbringer, then Rite of the Ruin, and then the aspect of the Carnage. These provide strong synergy with the Warcries, high damage, and the speed as well as sustain. In the early game, you want to use the Ground Slam and the Southern with the Frostblink and the Warcries. And then once the important gems are farmed in the mid game, then the build transitions into the full setup. Defensively, it uses 6 endurance charges, fortify/debilitate, then suppression gear, life leech, and the glorious vanity over leech to offset the berserker's life decay. Overall, this build has a lightning fast mapping speed, very strong screen coverage, and is not only durable but also loot friendly. The build's mechanics will reward precise positioning and timing, making it engaging for players who enjoy active playstyles while offering room for experimentation with different Warcries and the flask setups. Next up we have the Poison Concoction Pathfinder build. The setup focuses on fast sustained poison damage through the skill Concoction, which fires a projectile that applies deadly poison over time. It leverages the Pathfinder's Ascendancy for great flask uptime, allowing continuous application of the damage and survivability buffs. Offensively, it stacks chaos damage, poison scaling, and the critical strikes, supported by the strong projectile speed and the multi-flask effects. Defensively, the build will rely on evasion, energy shield, and the life regeneration, boosted by the Pathfinder's flask enhancements. Early leveling will use similar poison-based attacks, and then transition into the high DPS poison scaling into the mid-game. This setup is budget-friendly, easy to gear, and offers solid clear speed, with respectable boss damage. It's ideal for players who want smooth mapping and strong sustain with the poison mechanics, while also enjoying the flask utility and survivability. This build also benefits from a variety of accessible uniques and affordable gear, making it particularly appealing to players looking for an effective yet economical option in the league start. Then following that we have the poison SRS necromancer build, which revolves around summoning the spirits to deal poison damage over time. The necromancer ascendancy will maximize minion damage and survivability, boosting poison effectiveness and the clear speed. Offensively, this build combines minion spam with powerful poison damage scaling, leveraging critical strikes and the chaos damage nodes. Defensively, it benefits from the minions acting as a front line, while the player uses energy shield and the life regeneration to stay alive. Early leveling will focus on the minions and the poison effects, with a smooth transition into the high DPS minion setups. This build is perfect for players who want to play as a minion master, with very strong poison mechanics and great mapping efficiency, which is also suitable for the softcore play and the solo self-found. Its main strength lies in the ability to clear packs quickly, without the direct engagement, providing a safer playstyle, especially for the players that are new to the poison or the minion mechanics. Next we have Bleed Gladiator build, which is centered on the melee bleed damage with a strong survivability. The Gladiator ascendancy will enhance the bleed effectiveness, life regeneration and the armor. The build uses fast attacks and bleed stacking to shred through the enemy super quickly. Offensively, it focuses on physical damage, attack speed and bleed scaling, while also utilizing buffs like Fortify for defense, and then specifically for defenses it leans on high life, armor and block chance, as well as a bleed immune gear. Early gameplay involves fast melee attacks and the bleed stacking, and then transitioning into the optimized gear with critical strike scaling. The setup is best for players who enjoy aggressive melee combat, with a strong defense and bleed mechanics, by offering good boss damage and a solid survivability in the maps. It also pairs well with popular unique weapons that increase bleed chance and effect, which makes it flexible for various playstyles, including solo or the group content. Next up we have Explosive Arrow Ballista build, which is a ranged trap/minion hybrid that excels in map clearing with a strong aerial explosion. It uses the ballista skill to summon stationary turrets that fire explosive arrows, causing very large AoV damage. Offensively, the build will stack fire damage, the trap damage, projectile damage, and even the critical strikes. It also leverages elemental penetration and the cluster javel bonuses. Defensively, it focuses on evasion, life, and damage mitigation through the flasks and javels. Early game will use basic traps and projectiles for leveling, and then transition into a full explosive arrow ballista spam in the mid game. This build is great for players who want a unique turret playstyle, with a very high clearing speed and decent survivability. The strategic placement of ballistas and the traps will reward careful map navigation and also situational awareness by adding a tactical layer to the gameplay beyond just a simple skill spam. Then next up we have Poison Concoction Slayer build, which combines fast high poison damage with a Slayer's Ascendancy's powerful life leech and the leech synergy. It uses the concoction skill for continuous poison application with a high attack speed. Offensively, it maximizes chaos damage, poison scaling and the critical strike multipliers. And then defensively, it benefits from the Slayer's life leech, on-kill life regen and the fortify, which makes it quite tanky for a poison build. Early progression will use fast attacks with a poison stacking, and then shift to the full damage over time setup with a very strong flask uptime. The build is ideal for players who want a strong self-sustaining poison build, with good survivability and excellent mapping speed. Its combination of a high sustain and damage makes it suitable for both solo play and the endgame boss fights, by providing versatility across most of the content. Then next we got the Eyeshot Minor Deadeye build, that revolves around the Eyeshot, combined with the mines to deliver cold damage burst with a high clearing speed. Deadeye's Ascendancy will improve projectile damage, multiple projectiles and increased accuracy. Offensively, it benefits from the cold damage scaling, added projectiles and the critical strikes, combined with mine deployment for a safe and ranged gameplay. Defensively, the build uses evasion, dodge and the life leech. Early leveling will use the Eyeshot with direct attacks, and then transitioning to the mines mid-game for a safer and higher DPS play. This build is excellent for players who enjoy ranged tactical gameplay with great clearing speed and safety. The dual playstyle of direct shots and the mines will allow for flexible engagement distances, which makes it adaptable to various map layouts and the boss mechanics. Then for one of the last ones we got the Archmage Vortex Hierophant build. This is a caster focused setup that uses the vortex skill for massive cold damage over time. The hierophant's ascendancy provides strong mana and the energy shield sustain, allowing for very constant casting. Offensively, it scales cold damage, spell damage and critical strikes, and even the energy shield recharge. And then defensively, it relies on a high energy shield, mana, regeneration, and on the hierophant's buffs. The early game focuses on the spell damage and survivability, and then transitions into a high energy shield build, with an excellent clear speed and good pass damage. This setup will suit players who want a powerful mage with a sustained AoE and strong defenses. It excels in boss fights due to a consistent uptime of the damage over time effects, and can even clear large packs effortlessly, which makes it one of the most popular builds among the players who really like the caster's role but with a heavy survivability. And now last but not least, we have the Ground Slam Slayer build, which is a melee AoE damage build that is focused on physical damage and bleed. The Slayer's ascendancy will offer strong life leech, fortify and the bleed enhancements. The build uses a Ground Slam for wide aerial control and the stacking bleeds on the enemies. Offensively, it scales attack speed, physical damage and the bleed chance, and then defensively it benefits from the high life, fortify and armor. Early leveling will use Ground Slam with a bleed stacking, and then progress into a high damage tanky melee setup. This build is great for players who prefer straightforward melee combat, with solid survivability and good mapping speed. Its simplicity, combined with powerful sustain, make it a reliable choice for beginners and veterans alike, especially in leagues where fast clear speed and surviving against bosses is a huge priority. So let me know what you think about these builds in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, then you definitely don't want to miss my previous best builds tier list video, where I ranked every single build in the game. So click the screen now and I'll see you in the next one.